Well, snow is the big story this Saturday morning with potential blizzard-like conditions on the way. Chris is timing on how much more we'll get as we brace for round 2. Plus, more snow means strict parking guidelines in and around Madison as city officials prepare to declare a snow emergency. What to know before you drive anywhere this weekend. And this weather is a good reminder that Winter Restaurant Week is just a week away. We are getting ready with a look at the big deals from more than 50 local restaurants.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It is Saturday, January 11th. I'm Keely Arthur in with meteorologist Chris Reese. We want to get to Chris right away. Snowy overnight. Expecting some more today?
Yeah, that's right. And we saw a big difference in temperature throughout the state overnight, which is why some areas were hit pretty hard with the freezing rain. In fact, we're still at 32 in Milwaukee, 33 in Kenosha. Teens as you work your way just back towards the north and west. So radar over the past 12 hours actually showed that band of snow, the rain and freezing rain just towards the south. Now we're dealing with some flurries and some light snow showers out there, but we are indeed bracing for round 2 already. Watch that band of snow starting to develop throughout eastern Kansas and western parts of Missouri. That's going to be working its way up towards the north and east as we go through time. Now, I will tell you the storm track has shifted towards the south and east, so I have made a significant adjustment to the snowfall totals from yesterday, and that's one of the 3 things to know. But I still think we're going to have big impacts as round 2 moves in. We're going to time it out and talk about what you can expect coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you for tracking all of that for us, Chris. And due to these extreme weather conditions, emergency shelters will welcome anyone who needs a place to stay despite their capacity limits. Tonight, the Salvation Army's Family Shelter, Women's Shelter, and then Porchlight's Men's Drop-In Shelter will once again all be open. The shelters are ready with warm winter items, including socks, hats, gloves, and blankets.
We do not turn people away for capacity issues. And at this time of year, nobody would be out of days. But even if somebody had been suspended from services with the cold weather and with the storm, we have weather exception nights. And so everybody is welcome to come in.
Porchlight has already seen a season high of 148 people this winter. For comparison, they helped about 170 people during that extremely cold stretch last year. The city of Madison will declare a snow emergency once we officially reach 3 inches of snow. If you're outside the snow emergency zone, you have to follow those alternate side parking rules. If you're within the zone, that rule applies to you once the snow emergency is declared. If there's nowhere for you to park, that's okay. The city does open parking garages and lots for free during a snow emergency. City officials recommend you pay close attention to all parking signs, and we have these rules up on our website. We also have a running list of other things on our website, including closures and cancellations due to the snow. So far, Madison schools and MSCR have canceled all their programming, events, school meetings, and athletics for both today and tomorrow. We'll continue updating this list as more closures become available. And the Packers are also preparing themselves for more snow, and they're asking for your help to clear the field before tomorrow night's big game. Starting at 6 a.m. Sunday, the Packers will take the first 700 people in line to help shovel out the stands. You'll make $12 an hour for your help. With more snow on the way, this is your reminder to download our Channel 3000 Weather and Traffic app. There you can find the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions on alert days like today. You can download it for free in your app store. Now to Iran, where overnight the country's military is blaming human error, saying it unintentionally shot down a Ukrainian jetliner on Wednesday, killing all 176 people on board. The incident, which Iran had denied a role in, took place within hours of that country's retaliatory attacks on the U.S. after the death of its top general, Qasem Soleimani, back Friday. President Trump discussed details about the threats he says prompted the strike against that general.
We will tell you that probably it was going to be the embassy in Baghdad. I can reveal that I believe it would have been 4 embassies.
But Thursday night, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the administration did not have precise information about any threat.
Don't know precisely when, and we don't know precisely where, but it was real.
You were mistaken when you said you didn't know precisely when and you didn't know precisely where.
Completely true. Those are completely consistent thoughts. I don't know exactly which minute. We don't know exactly which day it would have been executed, but it was very clear. Qasem Soleimani himself was plotting a broad, large-scale attack against American interests.
The Trump administration is now revealing more about the additional sanctions against Iran that the president announced earlier this week. They say the new sanctions will target 8 senior Iranian officials involved in destabilizing activities in the Middle East, as well as this week's missile strike. Back to Wisconsin, officers in Janesville are asking people in the area of Rockvale Mobile Home Park and Black Hawk Technical College to watch out for a man they consider to be armed and dangerous. The suspect is wanted on drug charges. Law enforcement had to call off their search for him late Friday when it became too dark outside. The man they're looking for is described as a black male who is 6'1" and 270 pounds. They're asking people to be vigilant and call 911 if they see him. We'll continue following this story in Janesville, and you can find the latest updates on our app. Wisconsin now has its very first pediatric flu death of the season. It was a child under the age of 10 who lived in the southeastern part of the state. The Department of Health Services tells us the child died on the way to the hospital. They had influenza B, which has been especially problematic around the country this season. Experts say this season has been really tough on young people and children, but the worst is yet to come. Usually flu seasons reach their peak in February here in Wisconsin. More local news now. Winter Restaurant Week is just a week away, and this year you'll find several new restaurants participating. Our Christina Laurie has the exclusive preview.
Hi, Keely. I hope you're hungry and everyone at home too. Restaurant Week is just a week away, and here with a preview of it, Madison Magazine editor Andy Bailing. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me on.
So there's a lot new this year. What new restaurants are participating?
Yeah, we've got a couple new ones. Palette Bar and Grill on East Washington Avenue. We've got Merci, a new French restaurant on the square.
And Merci took the place of Field Table.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Same owners. But yeah, they've got a cool menu. And then we've got a couple that maybe have participated in the past but have been on and off. The list changes every year. We've got Eno Vino, the West Side. We've got the Boathouse. We've got the new Buck and Honey's in Monona, which is kind of cool. So lots of new menus to check out. There's 51 restaurants total.
Wow. And some restaurants, they choose to participate in Summer Restaurant Week, and they're added to this year's Winter Restaurant Week. That's kind of part of what makes Madison so unique. We have 2 restaurant weeks.
Right. People love Restaurant Week. It is like, it's the one week that you can try a ton on the menu. It's 3-course meals, dinner and lunch. That it's probably the best deal for a 3-course meal that you'll get at all these restaurants. So it's a really great time for foodies to check out places that maybe they, haven't gotten to yet and get a great deal.
And let's talk prices.
Yeah.
So a lot of these restaurants are offering, all of them offer dinner, but some also offer lunch.
Lunch, yes. I hope people know that there's lunch in Restaurant Week too, because there's $15 3-course lunch menus that some restaurants offer.
You really can't beat that.
No, you can't, and you get dessert at lunch, which is amazing.
It's not lunch without dessert. Okay, let's be real.
Right. Yeah. But then dinner menus start at $25. They go up to $35 for those menus, and all the menus are online, so you can check them out before you go. They're special menus that the chefs, kind of put their best foot forward, because they know a lot of people are coming in that maybe haven't tried them before.
$35 at a place like Eno Vino, I mean, you're not going to get better.
No, and a lot of them are $25. It starts at $25, so.
And do you have any tips for people at home? They can check out the menus on our website, madisonmagazine.com.
Yep.
But also, what about reservations? Will they fill up?
Definitely, yep. We highly recommend reservations before. Restaurant Week is January 19th through the 24th. So yeah, definitely start making reservations now.
Okay, just a week away.
Yes,
so
we're excited.
You got your reservations, Keely?
Christina Laurie putting me on the spot. I do not, but I certainly need to book those. Lots of great options. And we want to remind everyone one more time when this is happening. Restaurant Week starts 1 week from tomorrow. That's next Sunday, January 19th, and runs through Friday, January 24th. 3-course dinners start at $25, and some restaurants offer lunch for just $15. You can find a full list of participating restaurants and menus on channel3000.com.
Abe!
Fire! Aim! Fire!
It happens far too often. A veteran passes away and there are no family or friends to attend their funeral. In Racine County, a group of fellow veterans showed up for a local soldier they didn't know who was being laid to rest. Julio Caco Jr. served in the Army during Vietnam and he died at the age of 64.
We're looking at a loss of connection to family, but never a loss of the military family.
You served your country, and that's the best honor you can have, to have somebody come and be at your gravesite.
The attendees were part of a network of veterans who show up to fill the void when there's no family involved. The veteran was buried at the Southern Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Union Grove, and we certainly thank him for his service. Time right now, 8:09, and we are tracking the potential for blizzard conditions to develop later today. You are taking a live look over the Capitol, which is looking maybe a little bit more white than usual. Chris has your alert day forecast straight ahead.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Well, round one of the snow has moved on through, but round two is on the way, and we are going to see those winds picking up as well as we move into this afternoon. Let's go ahead and show you how the radar looked over the past 12 hours as that first round moved through the area. A lot of it to the south and east. It was warm enough for freezing rain instead of the snow, but once the snow wrapped up, we ended up with about 3.5 inches of it on the ground here in Madison. But pay attention to what you're seeing over Kansas Kansas and Missouri right now. That is the next area of low pressure. That's going to be moving our direction, and you see it already starting to get its act together as it prepares to move towards the north and east. Now, the low track will actually be a little bit further towards the south and east by about 80 miles than what we initially thought. So that does mean that the snow is going to be a little bit less intense for places like Madison and towards the north and west. But we still do have those winter weather advisories and the winter storm warnings, especially as you work your way over towards Milwaukee. Let's go ahead and time out the arrival of things. Check out the clock. This is right around 3:30. Look towards the south. That snow begins to move in. We get you towards 5:30. That's when I think some of us will be seeing some of the heaviest snowfall around here at times. And then the winds are certainly going to pick up during this time. Pay attention to those temperatures. They're into the low 20s. Yesterday's snow was very wet, heavy snow with temperatures around 32. But with temperatures in the 20s and low 20s at that, it's going to be more of a dry, powdery snow. With the winds, it's going to be able to blow around a lot more and create those whiteout conditions and truly limit visibility. In fact, I'll show you that in just a moment. The light snow and flurries will likely stick around until just after midnight, and then we see that pull out towards the north and the east, and those temperatures begin to drop into the low teens. Yes, it's going to get cold as we head into tonight. Here's future track snow totals. Notice it's highlighting that potential for 2 to 4 inches of snow in Madison, and then some of those higher totals towards the east. I think this might be just a tad underdone towards the east, a little bit overdone as you work your way towards Madison. But folks, the winds are certainly going to blow things around. We're talking wind gusts this afternoon of 30 to 40 miles per hour in some spots. But once the storm begins to pull away, we see a significant drop in those wind gusts fairly quickly. But with the falling snow and the wind, visibility is certainly going to be on the low end. This is dinner time. Visibility below half a mile, down towards 0 in some spots. We're going to be dealing with those visibility issues through the evening before things begin to wrap on up. But again, snow totals will likely be about 2 to 4 inches in Madison, and 4 to 8 inches as you work your way towards the south. This is additional snow, not in addition to what we have, or not the total when combined with what we have on the ground, but in addition to what we have on the ground right now. Now, as you work your way towards the north and west, there's going to be a cutoff so sharp that you have to be careful. You may cut yourself. Things do go down in a hurry in terms of how much snow we will see towards the north and west of Madison. That is why I do have a 0 to 1 inch snowfall forecast there. We have more chances for snow on the way, though. By the time we get you towards Sunday night into Monday, we'll see more chances for snow. We're watching Tuesday and Wednesday along with Friday and Saturday and next Monday. So this pattern that we're in is one that speaks a lot more of winter than the pattern we've seen as of late.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly not out of the woods even once we get past this weekend. Any idea if the snow totals during the work week are going to be significant?
Some of the days it could be. I'll tell you, I'm watching Wednesday and Friday the most for that potential, particularly Friday, but we still have a long way to go before we get there. In the meantime, we just have to focus on tonight before we can give the other days our full attention.
All right, thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
With the continued snow this weekend, local snowmobile trails may be opening soon. The Dane County Snowmobile Club said it's monitoring the weather and trail conditions to decide if it'll be safe to kick off the season. For trails to be open, there needs to be at least 6 inches of snow and steady below freezing temperatures. There are more than 500 miles of snowmobile trails just in this county, and you do need a state trail pass to ride. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes is accepting a challenge from Washington's Lieutenant Governor ahead of the Packers-Seahawks playoff game this weekend. In a tweet, Barnes says he is betting some of Wisconsin's finest cheese curds, meat sticks, and beer that the Packers will win. He says unlike in 2015 when the Packers lost the NFC Championship game 28-22 to the Seahawks, it's a new day and a new administration. Barnes joins Packers fans across the state ready for kickoff, and so is Green Bay's head coach Matt LaFleur, who fans hope won't stop breaking records just yet. LaFleur has led the Packers to a record 13-3 season, making him the most successful first-year coach in franchise history. But don't worry, LaFleur said it won't be hard to treat this weekend like any other week.
Our preparation has been the same as it is every other week this season. And I know our guys are looking forward to it. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of outside noise, and we just got to go about our business, trust our process, and do what we've been doing all season long.
Kickoff is at 5:40 tomorrow. Your time right now, it is 8:18. If your resolutions include trying something new, you might want to add several of these new shows and movies on your must-watch list. Will Loper shares his picks in this weekend's 3 Things to Watch. Trending news is just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Now, we are waiting on round 2 of the snow to work its way into the picture later on this afternoon. I think you're going to notice the snow moving in from the south, and while it won't be all that much, it will come with quite a punch. There's going to be a lot of gusty winds associated with it. Check out the clock right now. This is 3 o'clock. This is when we start to see that snow starting to move in. 5:30 now, and that's when some of the heaviest snow will likely be coming down. It's going to be a light, fluffy snow, a lot of gusty winds. That means it's going to blow around and truly limit visibility. There might be some brief periods where you do drive through ride-out conditions. By 9:30, that heaviest snow starts to move over towards eastern Wisconsin. I think we'll keep those flurries around until we get you towards midnight or so. This will likely add, when all is said and done, an additional 2 to 4 inches of snow on top of what we have out there now.
Certainly important for people to drive slowly and give themselves a little extra time. Well, let's take a look at what is trending this morning. They want you to want them. Cheap Trick and Rod Stewart are hitting the road together this summer for a North American tour. Stewart is headlining. They're playing 21 dates, kicking off July 21st in Cleveland, Ohio, and then wrapping up in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. Most tickets are now available. Colin Farrell is taking on the role of Oswald Cobblepot, aka the villainous Penguin, in the next Batman movie. Robert Pattinson stars as the Caped Crusader, and Zoe Kravitz co-stars as Catwoman. The movie, called The Batman, has already started filming and is set for release in June of 2021. Oscar nominations will be announced tomorrow morning amid news that this year's ceremony will have no host once again. You'll remember the 2019 Oscars were the first to go hostless since 1989 after comedian Kevin Hart stepped down weeks before the ceremony. Still, 30 million people watched, 11% more than the year before. This year's nominees will start receiving the good news after 7 a.m. tomorrow. Well, nominees or not, there are several other shows and films now streaming that come highly recommended from our film critic, Will Loper. Here is his picks in this weekend's 3 Things to Watch.
What made your last keeper leave? Went mad, he did. Tall tales. What?
Take a journey into madness with The Lighthouse, new on home video this week.
What? What? What?
Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe star as 2 men stuck together on a remote island who must work with each other, but they start driving each other crazy.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
The Lighthouse is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow!
Excuse me, you know where I could find some cool crime-fighting doctors?
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the series Medical Police.
What does this look like to you?
A switchblade?
Even better. Whoa! It's a comb.
Whoa!
Aaron Hayes and Rob Hubel star in the Children's Hospital spin-off as doctors who must investigate a deadly virus.
This is crazy. We're in way over our heads. Oh, and we can't do this.
Who are you? We are the police, and we're doctors.
All 10 episodes of Medical Police are streaming on Netflix now.
That better.
3,
2,
1.
Well, young man, I hope you realize what you're getting yourself in for.
Well, I must admit, I didn't know I was marrying into a house with an elevator.
Oh, it isn't only the elevator. The place is haunted.
You mean ghosts?
Frightful ghosts, all wearing stuffed shirts and mink-lined ties.
Finally new in the Criterion Collection this week is the 1938 film Holiday.
True. And of course you've heard about me. I'm the black sheep.
Bah!
That's the goat. Johnny, don't pay any attention to
No,
it.
it's too late. The engagement's off. I won't marry into a family with a black sheep.
I think I like this man.
Hello.
Cary Grant stars as a man from humble beginnings who learns his fiancée comes from a wealthy family, with Katharine Hepburn as the bride-to-be's sister, who Johnny begins to fall for.
No, but this is terrible, sister. Do you realize that you're trying to marry into one of America's 60 families?
Well, when I find myself in a position like this, I ask myself, what would General Motors do? I do the opposite.
As long as you don't stand up in front of Father and do a back flip-flop.
Holiday is available to buy in the Criterion Collection now.
Sweet, but you know me, fellas, when things get tough, when I feel a worry coming on, you know what I do.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
And from movies to music's biggest night, the Grammy Awards are 2 weeks away from tomorrow, and this year's celebration will last a little longer. 2 days after the big ceremony, the world of music will pay tribute to an icon, 7-time Grammy winner Prince. Alicia Keys, John Legend, Usher, and many more will perform in a special event called Let's Go Crazy, the Grammy Salute to Prince. The concert will be recorded and broadcast right here on Channel 3 later this winter. Well, there is much more ahead on News 3 Now. The worst is yet to come weather-wise for us here in Madison. Chris is tracking the winter storm hitting us around 2 later today. We will be right back. Getting better together, that's the mission of Oprah's new wellness tour, which is just a state away this morning. You do not need a ticket, though, to see the show and learn from the media mogul herself. Her top health advice is just ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning. It's January 11th. I'm Keely Arthur. Take one look outside and you will see some snow and ice, and that is the big story this morning. With even more on the way, we want to get a check with Chris right away. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, good morning, Keely. We did see a round of the snow and ice that moved through last night, and it was pretty intense as it came through. Lots of freezing rain causing power outages through places like Janesville. We've now seen a couple flurries develop on the western side. So if you're in West Madison right now, down through places like Belleville, you're getting in on a little light snow shower activity. There is more, however, where this came from. Round 2 is going to be on the way. The good news is this no longer looks to be as intense of a storm, just because the storm track did shift southeast by about 80 miles, but I still think you're going to see high impacts as the secondary band begins to move our way. It's already developing throughout parts of Missouri. It's going to be moving towards the north and east, and even though there's a shift to the east in that track, I still think we will see those big impacts. We'll be breaking that down in a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. And find the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions on our app. Well, if you're looking for something to do while you're cooped up inside avoiding the snow this weekend, you could get a head start on your taxes. IRS Free File officially opens this weekend for the 2020 season. Taxpayers who adjusted gross income was $69,000 or less in 2019 can do their taxes right now, and the Free File provider will submit the return once the IRS officially opens the 2020 tax filing season on January 27th. The program offers free direct deposit or refunds to help you get your money faster. You can access it at the website on your screen. That's irs.gov/freefile. Well, Oprah is just a state away this morning in Minneapolis for the latest stop on her 2020 wellness tour. That tour is bringing together tens of thousands of people around the world with a mission to make their lives a little better. David Begnaw joined Oprah for last weekend's kickoff, where she was also joined by a very famous friend.
15,000 people packed into the BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida on a Saturday morning. Hello! Ready to live their best life with Oprah.
And I hope that you leave here today with a sense of being connected to the answer of what is the more for you.
Take me to the King. Oprah's 2020 Vision Tour is a campaign to promote wellness.
We are doing this with 15,000 people in a sold-out arena.
I know that our desires are the same. We all want the truest, highest, purest expression of ourselves.
7 hours of what felt like group therapy with thousands of strangers, and it was strangely comfortable. The day started with insight, motivation, and a little bit of homework.
I'm trying to see how y'all are doing here.
Everyone was challenged to test the balance in their lives using a workbook that rated them on movement, nutrition, and purpose, among other things.
My 2020 vision is to get rid of those fears that I had. This is who you are. This is what you're gonna be. Be intentional.
Now at Weight Watchers. It was Oprah's intention to partner with WW, the company formerly known as Weight Watchers. It was started on Long Island by Jean Nidich, who wanted to lose some weight, and did it with a community of women who she would invite over to her house. They would weigh themselves. That was 57 years ago.
I love the new My WW program.
Oprah is now its largest individual shareholder. But long before she had an ownership stake, she says the point system that the company uses helped her to realize that living well isn't about staying home and starving yourself. So at each tour stop, Oprah highlights local restaurants that offer WW meals. Nicole Gates owns Lil Greenhouse Grill in the Overtown neighborhood of Miami. Their WW menu item is shrimp and collard greens. They thought we were just stopping by for a taste, but oh no. Once Nicole caught her breath, she served us some of Chef Kareem's tasty shrimp and collard greens, which yours truly had never had before.
How was it for you, Mr. Begnaud?
Very good. As we say in Louisiana, ça c'est bon. Ça c'est bon. Very good.
It was sauce bon good. Very good.
Sometimes women of color who are in a certain financial situation don't feel like they have access to these types of programs.
Yeah.
So in order for you all to bring us in, where they can walk across the street and actually sit down, dine with dignity with their families, and be a part of a national program like Weight Watchers, makes the world just a little bit smaller.
Part of WW's push is wellness that involves working on your mental health. One of the biggest champions of mental health education is Lady Gaga, who stopped by to speak with us before taking the stage.
I know kindness is your mantra.
Kindness heals all things. It is the most powerful weapon that we have in our arsenal, and it's the only one that we should be using.
Gaga got very personal with Oprah.
I will put my shame in a box all the way over there and make it very small. And say to myself, I have mental health issues. I take a lot of medication to stay on board. And I'm a survivor. And I'm living and I'm thriving and I'm strong. And I'm going to take all my life experiences and I'm going to share them with the world and make it a better place.
Wow.
So many in the crowd were recording with their cell phones as Lady Gaga candidly revealed how she deals with pain daily that she says is caused by fibromyalgia.
So you're medicated all the time?
Yes, every day.
Every day?
I take no narcotics at all. No pain med, no. Yeah. I'm on antidepressants. I am on a medicine called methylcarbamol. And I am on an antipsychotic called olanzapine. And I take a few other things that are stress-based. But I want to be very careful about saying any of this, in a public way to tell anyone what to take. This is not, it's not the same for everyone.
And that is the kind of real talk which Oprah is known for getting from celebrities, who remind us that we are connected through our struggles. And with that,
Hey!
the first stop on Oprah's 9-city tour was over.
Thoughts on the whole day?
My thought of the whole day is, wow! This is unbelievable. I think this is so incredible. It makes me really want to cry. Makes me want to cry. Makes me want to cry that people care so much that they would come out and they would give up their Saturdays and do this.
What is your intention for every person who comes?
I hope people leave with a rising in them because, I know that you can't come to a motivational speech or day and instantly change your life. But I want people to feel the rising inside them that yearns for the more and then have clarity about what that more is.
Oprah's entire interview with Lady Gaga is now posted on Oprah's Facebook channel. And today, Oprah will be sitting down with comedian Tina Fey. You can hear that full conversation next Wednesday over on Facebook as well. Well, if you are brave enough to leave the home on this wintry weekend day, we are here to help. From the perfect date night comedy to laugh away your winter blues to an opportunity to donate your kids' old bikes to those in need. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Well, now that round 1 of snow has moved out, we're going to be tracking round 2 that begins to move in later on this afternoon. Now, one of the key things is that there has been a shift to the east in the storm track by about 80 to 100 miles. That's going to limit how much snow places such as Madison and northwest of Madison end up seeing, but I still think there are going to be big impacts from the secondary round just because there's going to be a lot of wind and blowing snow once this comes through. We'll time it all out after the weekend 608.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And as you said, it is the weekend in the 608. Here's a quick look at what is happening around Madison. If you're looking for some date night laughs, head over to The Overture, a comedic performance of a one-man show. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus will not shy away from the highs and lows of dating and marriage. The show is based on the best-selling 1992 book by relationship counselor John Gray. And you can get a head start on spring cleaning by donating your bikes that your kids may have grown out of. This morning, you can donate them at one of several drop-off sites around Madison and Dane County set up by Free Bikes for Kids. That organization refurbishes thousands of bikes and redistributes them to kids in need in our community. You can check out the Free Bikes for Kids website for where to drop off your bike between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. today in Madison, Fitchburg, Middleton, Monona, Stoughton, and DeForest. And for all the best that Madison has to offer, you can check out the latest in Madison Magazine. Well, time right now is 8:44, and it is a busy morning in Chris's weather office. You are taking a live look over the Capitol. Chris Reese will have your first alert forecast next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can celebrate with them on air. We will be right back.
for reliable weather day in and day out. Watch First Alert Weather.
Well, we saw the snow as it moved through last night. In the meantime, we are going to be waiting for round 2 to come our direction. But here is that first round as it moved through last night. Now we're still dealing with some flurries coming throughout the area right now. Places like Waunakee, down through Madison, Middleton, down through Verona, and back towards places like Perry are getting in on a little snow shower coming through right now. It's relatively light, so it's not creating that big of a deal. But that's going to be moving towards the east as we go through time. By 8:55, expect that in Cottage Grove. 9 o'clock for Stoughton, just after 9 as you work your way over towards Lake Mills. And while this is just one snow shower, we're still waiting for the secondary round of snow to move our direction as we head into the afternoon and towards tonight. Here it is, starting to get its act together right now, especially throughout parts of western Missouri and eastern Kansas. This is the band that's going to gradually track its way towards the north, although the overall low track did shift towards the south and east just a little bit. So the impacts in terms of the snowfall amounts will no longer be as great, but I still think we're going to have those travel impacts due to limited visibility and the blowing snow. We've been downgraded to winter weather advisories for Juneau, Madison, and Monroe. Still winter storm warnings for Janesville, Watertown, over towards Waukesha as you work your way towards Milwaukee. Places like Fort Atkinson still under those winter storm warnings are now. To the north and west, the Dells, Portage, Poinette, Columbia, Lone Rock, over towards Richland Center, you no longer have the winter weather advisories or a winter storm warning, but I still think it's possible that you may see at least some light snow. It's going to be iffy because there's going to be a real sharp cutoff. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's time things out for you. Here we are at 3 o'clock. Pay attention towards the south. That snow starts to move in. By 5:30, we're seeing that snow move in from the south, and then notice how quickly that pulls towards the east. By 9:30, it's really starting to impact the lakeshore communities, and the actual snowfall amounts associated with this are going to be a lot. We're talking generally 2 to 4 inches towards the south and east, but notice that heavier band now towards the actual lake shore. So when it comes to the snowfall amounts, again, not a big deal, but we're going to be seeing the strong winds. This is going to be a light, fluffy snow with temperatures in the 20s, so it's going to be able to blow around a lot more. Wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour by 10 o'clock. Still going to see those nearly 30 mile per hour wind gusts as we go through the evening. As the storm pulls away, the stronger wind gusts pull away relatively quickly, but the visibility will be a thing. By dinner time, especially from Madison and points towards the south and east, you're talking visibility down below half a mile towards zero in several spots, and that can create some issues if you do plan on driving. Again, a sharp cutoff towards the north and west. That's why I have 0 to 1 inch as you work your way towards the Dells. I'm leaning towards the lower end of these totals. 2 to 4 inches through Madison, 4 to 8 inches as you work your way towards the south and east towards Milwaukee, and that easterly trend does somewhat continue as we go through the morning, but we're watching even more snow chances. Another one will come our way as we get towards the end of Sunday into Monday. More snow chances Tuesday and Wednesday, with another one perhaps on top by the weekend. By the way, I don't want to look over the cold. We'll see temperatures close to 0 Thursday into Friday.
So much to track. Thank you so much, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, you can stick with News 3 all day long, and then tomorrow morning, our snow chances are continuing, as you just heard. Chris is tracking several alert days heading into your work week. But first, if you ever thought something you really wanted was impossible, well, this next story is for you. Meet the musician overcoming her limitations in a very big way. We'll be back with that and a final check of weather. Stay with us. Well, we have got a spoiler alert for you. Our very final story ends on a happy note, but that doesn't make it any less remarkable.
That's right, Keely. Our CBS correspondent has the story.
All right, will you guys play your D strings together?
Teaching first-time musicians at Austin Middle School is challenging for Carly Addison, but helping a student like Kayla Arqueta achieve her dream is exactly why she became a teacher.
I think that every kid deserves a chance to experience music education, and for us not to let Kayla play in the orchestra, then we failed everyone.
When you first came to talk to the teacher, what did she say?
That she's gonna find a way to help me play the instrument. She told me it's gonna be possible.
The instrument is the cello. The challenge, 11-year-old Kayla was born missing the lower portion of her left arm.
Were you at all worried, though, at one point you're like, oh, I really hope I can live up to this promise?
Yes, but it's hard to explain. The doors opened up so quickly for this.
One of the doors Addison found open was 3 miles away at Nimitz High School.
The thing is, I was either going to jump on board or get left behind, because she was going to solve it one way or another.
Engineering teacher Dwight Davidson enlisted 6 of his top seniors to create a prosthetic limb for Kayla.
I need to help this girl because it makes me feel a better person.
The students plotted and then printed a hard plastic prosthetic on a 3D printer.
I just slip it on.
Oh, well, that's simple enough, isn't it?
The device acts as her left hand while her right maneuvers the chords. The performer and the prosthetic made their public debut at the school's winter program. The night celebrated a triumph of technology, a teacher's promise, and a young musician's dream. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Irving, Texas.
What an incredible story. And Chris, you are tracking the weather right now, looking slightly better than we originally thought.
Just a little bit. We saw a slight shift to the east in that storm track, which means less storm totals from this secondary round that's going to come through later on. I still think there are going to be impacts in terms of just the wind and low visibility. It's going to be a sharp cutoff towards the north and west. 2 to 4 inches here in Madison. I'd lean towards the lower side of that. 4 to 8 inches, however, from Janesville up towards Milwaukee. Then we'll see more snow chances as we go through the week ahead. This is not the only one. We'll have a snow chance Sunday night into Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, and perhaps Friday into Saturday.
And lots of colder temperatures,
yes,
too. Another story right there.
There will be some colder temperatures. We'll see some days with highs struggling into the low teens. Morning lows around 0.
All right, we'll check back in with you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching.